It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is Geno Jones Showtime. So I'm coming to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago. Maybe you're in Memphis or Dallas, Houston, New Orleans, up in Minneapolis. Shout out to my people in Milwaukee. 3:30 p.m. on the west side, the west coast. Because like I could be like the west side of Chicago, but no, on the west coast, the west side, L.A., Dre Russell, my man, Ken Wilson, all my people out in L.A., Clifton Mosley, to my daughter, my son-in-law, Boogie and Jonathan, and it's Brooklyn the Bulldog up in Portland, Oregon. The crew chilling in Seattle. Speaking of chilling, 1:30 of you are chilling in Hawaii. Lucky you. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You and everybody you know and don't know, everybody that you like, that you love, that you can't stand, folks you hate, strangers, aliens from outer space, Chinese spies flying around in balloons talking about us, a weather balloon got shot down. So if they shot down one of the Chinese spies and they fell in your backyard and maybe you holding them captive or something, tell them to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Share, like, binge watch, copy and paste, screen grab, like all the episodes. Every episode is fire. Programming note. Today, it's going to be the last live Geno Jones Show because the show is going on a moving hiatus. We're moving into new facilities. So there'll be no live show on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Now, the show is supposed to be on hiatus until at least March 8th. I can tell you now, that's not going to happen. So the show is going to be on hiatus until the first week in March. So that could be like the 1st of March or the 2nd of March. It'll be no later than the 6th, but it won't even be the 6th. It'll be around the 1st or 2nd of March. Because I can't stay away from you. And I got some good news. That my studio, they're going to be able to move everything from this facility into my new facility a lot faster than we thought. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm excited. I'm always excited when I come on camera and I get a chance to talk to you, but I literally just got off the phone. That's why I was about maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes later than normal. I was on the phone with my engineer who custom built the studio. So I got that great news. So we will be on hiatus for on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week. And we'll be on hiatus until the first week, like the first few days in March. Either March 1st or 2nd. No later than March 6th, which is 6 days from today. It was a week from yesterday, actually. So just want to give you a heads up. All right, let's cut through the chase here. So Rihanna's not the only star that's having a baby. Yes, Riri, whose father, Ronald Finney, Papa Ronald, had to find out that his baby girl was pregnant by watching her perform the halftime show at the Super Bowl. He was like, oh my God, I think my baby's present. I think my baby's pregnant. Yeah, Papa Ronald Finney, yes she is, but she's not the only one. Now this person, we didn't see her perform. I would love to see her perform at the halftime Super Bowl. I would love to see her do the halftime performance. As a matter of fact, I love to see her and her crew. Who is her? I'm talking about the sister repping the west side of Chicago from the 606 Fofo, not 44, the 606 Fofo, repping Kenwood High School, even that's on the south side, even that's 60615, 60604, west side. Then she was repping the 60615 at Kenwood High School, Shantae Harris. Who is Shantae Harris? Lisa Ray's sister. Oh, DaBrat. Yes, congratulations to DaBrat. She is having her first child with her wife, Judy Harris DuPart. So congratulations, Brat and Judy. Now, Judy has at least 2 or 3 other kids from a prior relationship. So congratulations. DaBrat said that she just thought that she thought having a baby wasn't in the cards for her. I believe I read something today. I guess she was trying to have a baby and there was some fertility issues. But bottom line is, God is amazing. So I'm so happy for DaBrat, and I'm happy for her and her wife. So y'all, man, live y'all best life. And then when you had the baby, DaBrat, so I would love to see like the whole Jermaine Dupri. So that's what we need. So I'm speaking it into existence. Somebody copy and paste this link. Somebody send this to Jermaine Dupri and DaBrat. We need to have a as a matter of fact, I don't know when the Super Bowl is going back to Atlanta, but it would be cool next year. So the Super Bowl is going to be in Las Vegas. Man, wouldn't that be crazy? But I don't know. You know, look, I know these owners ain't crazy about having these black folks, just so much blackness at the Super Bowl. That's why they're not going to let us be an owner. They're like, look, 75% of the league is black. And then now we got JC, so he bringing all his crew. We just can't have all you Negroes taking over. Look, it ain't about taking over. It's just that we just bring what we bring. Black excellence. But I would love to see it. I love to see it next year in Las Vegas. So I am, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. The words we speak can speak life into people, and it can speak death. But we don't speak death. We speak nothing but life and greatness and happiness and joy. Anyway, that would be, so let's speak that into the existence. Let's speak it into existence. A So Def halftime Super Bowl performance. DaBrat, Jermaine Dupri, Shad Moss, used to be Lil Bow Wow. Jermaine Dupri said, as a matter of fact, he's the one that started and came up with the idea for 106 and Park so he could put Bow Wow on, because Bow Wow wouldn't get any love on MTV with the Total Request Live. They had a show, TRL, Total Request Live. And they weren't having any black artists unless you were huge, like Prince or somebody like that. So Jermaine Dupri went to this guy named Stephen Hill, who was the head of BET, said, hey, look, you see TRL? They're not letting no black folks. They ain't letting us darkies on there. So we need something for the culture, for the community. 106 and Park. And he said, well, who you going to put? I got an artist, Lil Bow Wow. And the rest is history. A So Def Super Bowl halftime performance starring DaBrat and Jermaine Dupri. And that could have Lil Jon, just that whole So Def family. That would be fire. Oh, yeah, it would. Absolutely. So I digress. So once again, congratulations to DaBrat on having her very first child. All right, happy birthday today. Anjanae Ellis is 54. She's an actress. She played Venus and Serena's mom in King Richard. Oh, she should have gotten an Academy Award. She was incredible. She was awesome. I mean, she nailed that role. Because they were talking about Will Smith getting awards. Well, Anjanae Ellis should have got an Academy. But look, you get my award for your performance, Anjanae. I don't have a little gold statue, but I'll hook you up with something. Speaking of movies, Jordan Peele. So, he was part of this comedy duo. It was Peele and Key. Jordan Peele and my man Key. And his partner does a great Barack Obama impersonation. And Jordan Peele is really an incredible director. So he did that movie Get Out. You saw that with a white dude, fell in love, dating this white girl, and folks was trying to kill his ass because they wasn't trying to have no swirl. They weren't trying to mix the cream with the coffee. He also directed, he directed Us, Lupita Nyong'o, one of my favorite actresses, beautiful sister. Lupita doing her thing. She is so bad. So Lupita Nyong'o starred in Us, and Nope with my girl Keke Palmer, who's going to be a new mommy too. So man, it must be in the air with the celebrities. We got Rihanna, DaBrat, Keke Palmer, because I think Keke just had the gender reveal party. If I remember, I saw that somewhere not too long ago anyway. So happy birthday to Jordan Peele. He is 44 today. Happy heavenly birthday to Nina Simone, civil rights activist, singer, songwriter, performer, incredible. Just an incredible person, incredible talent, incredible voice, incredible spirit. Nina Simone was born on this day in 1933. Wow. So she would have been 90 today. And John Lewis, happy heavenly birthday. Talking about civil rights, a civil rights icon, a civil rights legend, a civil rights giant who said that we all should get in good trouble. John Lewis, born on this day in 1940. So he would have been 83 today. So happy heavenly birthday to John Lewis. Happy heavenly birthday to Miss Nina Simone. Now, before I go, let me, as a matter of fact, let me make sure my chat room is open. Hello, everybody. How you doing there? There we go. Feel free. If you got a question or comment you want to jump in the chat room, you can do that. Just jump right in there. All right, so listen, before I get out of here, let me shout out a couple people real quick. Shout out to Don Lemon. Now look, y'all really tripping CNN? You doing way too damn much. Now look, I get it, but let's have this conversation. Because Don Lemon's got a lot of haters, but he's got a lot of supporters. And this whole situation there's some folks inside of CNN who are in management. I've been in the media game business and entertainment business for over 3 decades. So I know how it works inside and out. And there have been so many stories about how management feels and how his co-workers feel about him, that he's got this incredibly large, huge ego, and he was shouting at people, and people are just afraid to be around him and have a hard time. That stuff is not getting out by accident. So there's some people in management, Don, that don't want you around. There's some of your co-workers that are probably intimidated by your talent and whatever else. I have no idea. I don't know. I've never met Don Lemon. I've admired his work for a long time. He was a reporter in Chicago. He was actually, he kind of cut his teeth. He worked in New York before he went to Chicago, some of the other markets. Listen, Don is incredibly talented. Now, you can say what you want. Now, for some people, even some people that look like him, hate on him. But compared to what I see on TV, and in terms of an anchor, Don, you really need to have your own show. You should have stayed at night, but I don't think it was your decision. I think it was your choice. I think they were trying to do something. So apparently, all these stories that's been leaking about, the morning ratings are the lowest they've ever been. And Don Lemon and I think Caitlin Collins and can't get along. And then this whole story, let's talk about the situation with Nikki Haley. All right? And nobody goes harder in the paint. Nobody is as anti-sexist and misogynistic as I am. Don't take my word for it. Just check my receipts. Go check out some of my back episodes. Binge watch some of my back episodes. But let's talk about this whole situation with Don Lemon and Nimrata, Nikki Haley. No, Nimrata, I'm not calling her a name. It's not a slur. That's the name her mama and daddy gave her. That is her birth name. That is her government, or as we say in the barbershop, in the beauty salon, the hair salon in the hood, government name, government. Nimrata. On her birth certificate, it will say Nimrata Nikki Haley. Or actually, it'll say Nimrata Nikki something else, because her parents are immigrants from India. So Haley won't even be on her birth certificate. That is her married name. Haley is her married surname. She took her spouse's last name. So Nimrata basically was engaging in age discrimination, talking about, this should be a mental competency test for any politician 75 and over. Now, she tried to be slick about it. she tried to, there's a saying like on the south side of Chicago where I grew up, don't throw a rock and then hide your hand. If you're going to throw the rock and keep your hand out there and raise your hand and say, hey, I'm the one that threw that rock at your ass. But the cowards, they throw a rock and hide their hand and then say, I didn't do it. He threw it. She threw it. So Nikki Haley is out there engaging in age discrimination, ageism, but try to do it slick. She was really taking a shot at two people. She was taking a shot at President Joe Biden, who, listen, I don't know, you talking about his mental competency. He's been pretty damn competent because he's got a lot done. A lot. In some crazy times. So you may think he's too old, but you know what? There's something to be said for age and experience and wisdom. Because I'm just looking at his receipts. He got more legislation passed than anything, and a lot of legislation benefited, yes, black folks and a lot of other people. So I'm just keeping it 1,000. But do you understand that the only thing that's standing between us, all of us, not just black folks, not just Hispanics, Hispanic, Latino Americans, not just Asian Americans or European immigrants, the only thing that's standing between what they call democracy, where we all have a voice and a say when it comes to voting and we get to decide who our leaders are, and what they call fascism is what happened, literally started 100 years ago, because the whole fascist Nazi movement started bubbling up 100 years ago, like around this time, around 1923 in the like mid 1920s. Like Don said, Google that. When did Nazism and fascism start? In Germany. So the only thing, I promise you got Governor Too Short down there in Florida. He ain't even trying to hide it. Banning books. Just go back and study Nazi Germany. The beginning of Nazism and fascism in Germany. Go back and study it. What did they start with? Oh, they started with, they started banning books, and they went after Jews. Jews made up not even 1%. You could round it off. Jews made up 1% of the population in Germany back in the mid-late 1920s and the early 30s. But Hitler convinced 99% of the population that the 1% were the reason that they were having economic hard times. Was this 1% of the people that made up 1% of the population somehow was affecting and controlling the 99%, and they fell for it. But what did Hitler start doing? Banning books. And taking a lot of people's rights away. They didn't call it CRT and wokeness. So when you hear people say, like Governor Too Short, Florida is where wokeness comes to die. See, if you look up the definition of to be a woke is to have your eyes open. You are conscious and aware of where you are and who you are. You can't drive a car if you're not awake. You have to be woke to drive a car. You have to be woke to eat. You have to be woke to go to work. If you are not woke and trying to drive a car, you're going to kill you and a whole lot of other people. So when you hear this, we're against wokeness, this woke mob, the translation is anything, any movement, any law, anybody that speaks out, that fights against hatred in any form, specifically racism, anti-blackness, but you throw in there misogyny, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, throw in there anti-Semitism, religious bigotry, Islam, anti-Muslim hate, anti-Asian hate. It all goes in there. That's how it starts. banning books, controlling what a woman can do with her body, wanting to have a federal law that a national abortion ban. A bunch of men, a bunch of old dudes, gonna sit around and tell women what they can and can't do with their body. Men would never tolerate that. Never. They would not tolerate it for a half a second. If men had to carry the babies and give birth through the birth canal and C-sections and vaginal births and breech babies, the human race would have been extinct a million years ago. Because I'm a man, men could never tolerate that kind of pain. Now we can play with broken ankles and all kind of broken limbs and concussions. But that whole childbirth experience, no. Most men can't even stand to watch a baby come through the birth canal without passing out. I'm giving it to you straight, and I'm a man. So the point I'm trying to say, to bring it back to Don Lemon and bring it back to Nimrod and Nikki Haley. So Nikki Haley engaged in age discrimination, and Don Lemon called her out on it. Now the mistake he made, he should have been a little more specific. And he's a journalist, but you would think, but it was in real time. So I could imagine, sometimes, your brain works too fast. And you could say one thing, and you have a specific meaning, but you can say the first thing that hits your mind, and as you continue to develop and articulate your thought, the very first thing that can come out of your mouth, people can read it wrong. So he said, well, Nikki Haley, you're past your prime because, you're in your 50s, and women in their 50s are past their prime. And that's what got him in trouble. Now, what he meant was, because he said, Google it. Now, Google it. I Googled it. But so humans, our prime, like our physical prime, and for women, the prime childbearing years are usually from the early 20s to into your 40s. Something like DaBrat is 48. Like Rihanna's 35, having her second child, so she was 33 when she first got pregnant. DaBrat is pregnant, she's 48. Keke Palmer is in her in her early 30s now, maybe late 20s, early 30s. So you can Google that, and when it talks about, when they talk about humans in their prime, like men, athletically and physically, are in our primes, usually between like 27, 28 to mid 30s. That's when we are in our physical prime. Now we can still be, in men, because our bodies is different. You got some men in their 60s that can get somebody pregnant, but you just physically, our testosterone levels are not the same. A lot changes for men and women. So we are not in our physical prime. So Don should have been specific when he said that. But I'll add another layer to it, Don. I'm going to help you out. You have Gen Zers, some millennials. Gen Zers are in their 20s, like 18 to 26, 28. Millennials, like 26, 27, 28 to like 40. Now, the oldest millennials are right around 40 now. Right around 40, maybe 41, something like that. So millennials or Gen Zers could look at somebody in their 50s and be like, maybe politically, I think, and in terms of leadership, you may be past your prime. Because y'all folks in your 50s and 60s and 70s, they're looking at this like, well, look at this mess. Y'all ain't really done a great job in terms of leadership. The planet is, in danger. Freedom is in danger. So they may look at somebody in their 50s or 60s and be like, yeah, I think maybe you need to go ahead and sit down and let a new generation of leaders take over. There are countless examples. You can Google them and find them on whatever, web browser you want to use, or internet search engine you want to use. You have some younger bosses who are millennials, who in some cases engage in age discrimination. I think folks maybe in their late 50s, early 60s. They're just, the fastball doesn't hit 100 on the radar gun. Yeah, you done lost a little bit on your fastball. Used to be 198 on the radar gun. Now you're like around 89, 90, 91, 92. So that's a fact. So it's funny that Nimrata, Nikki Haley, is not catching any heat from anybody in the media, even as CNN took Nikki Haley's side over their own primary anchor. So he wasn't artful. He might have been a little clumsy, and that offended a lot of women, and I get that. But I need to see that same energy with everybody that was offended and said that Don Lemon was so sexist. I need to see that same energy with Nimrod and Nikki Haley, because she was ageist. She engaged in age discrimination, and she continues to do it. So you can't condemn one form of bigotry or discrimination and be cool with another. That ain't gonna fly. You have no credibility. That makes you a hypocrite. If discrimination is bad for one, it's got to be bad for all across the board. Period. Or it has no credibility at all. It means nothing. It's bullshit. I'm just gonna be honest with you. So Don Lemon's going to be back on CNN's morning show Wednesday morning. So shout out to you, Don. You know they're trying to set you up. If I were you, I would just going over to MSNBC. Hell, holla Gayle King. Go work with Gayle. Or let them switch out. Let Michael Strahan do a trade like you do in sports. Trade CNN, trade Don Lemon for Michael Strahan. See how that work out for you. Let Don Lemon go. Listen, look, TJ, there's a gig, because TJ Holmes, he was Pimp or Die. He was, King Dingaling. That's what they say around the office, and it caught up with him. But even then, he caught. So TJ Holmes caught more heat than Amy Robach. Now, they engaged in a consensual relationship. They both were married. But if you looked at the news, you would think that TJ Holmes, he was a predator. Now, shit, they both around the same predator. No. They both was cheating on their spouses. So, you can't make Amy Robach out to be a victim because she's a white woman. Same thing happened with Ime Udoka. They're like, well, Geno, no, it was a power dynamic. No, it wasn't a power dynamic. Here's the truth. The truth is, as wrong as Ime was, he might as well have been married, because him and Nia Long had been together, and she had just moved to Boston. So karma's real. So the energy you put out into the world comes back on you. So all that energy that Ime put out, he was wrong. And you know what? The universe checked his ass. And that energy came back. And it cost him his job. But the point is, he wasn't the only one. You don't even know who this woman's name is. Mrs. Lynch. I mentioned it. She's not an intern. She's at least in her 30s, got 3 kids. She was married as practicing Mormon. That's what they said. And her husband worked for the Boston Celtics. He was an executive, like in the financial department. And she didn't work on the basketball. She didn't work under Ime Udoka. So the point I'm trying to make listen, there's so much inconsistency. And when it comes to black folks, we always going to be judged different. Always. So, like with TJ Holmes, Amy Robach didn't get the same energy and the venom and the hate and the heat that TJ Holmes got. No. Hey, keep the same energy for Amy Robach that you kept for TJ Holmes. because they both was doing their spouses dirty. It did cost them their job. But let's see how fast T.J. Holmes gets a job. So Don Lemon, maybe go on over to ABC. Join the Good Morning America team. Let CNN trade. Let them trade you for for Michael Strahan. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. And shout out real quick, one quick shout out to Karen Hunter. So she does a radio show on Sirius XM, comes on in the afternoon. She's an April Taurus, but I love Karen's energy, her passion, her confidence, but she puts in the work. You know, like I said, it's one thing to have the confidence, to be cocky. Look, I've gotten it. Look, I'm a May Taurus and a dude. Arrogant, cocky. When I'm on camera, when I'm on stage, when I'm behind a microphone, I'm bringing all the swag. And I'm not dialing down none of it to make you or anybody else comfortable. But I'm coming with receipts, AKA facts, and with all the confidence and the arrogance and swag that I come with, my work ethic is even greater, is more intense. Because there's a lot of talented people who don't have the work ethic to match their talent. Because, you know, you can't really reach greatness, and you definitely can't reach it and sustain it without putting in the work. There's some super talented people that never even come close to their greatness or full potential because they don't put in the work. And there's some people who were the most talented people, but they had the drive, the dedication, determination, and they had the work ethic that took them from good to great. So nobody's ever going to outwork me. Nobody ever has. Nobody's going to be more prepared than me. Trust me. I was like that when I was a little kid. I don't like to be wrong. I like to be right. I was the kind of kid that always wanted to be the first one with the correct answer. My mother would tell you that. Is watching the show right now. That's who I was as a kid. That's who I am now. So Karen Hunter's got that same swag, but the sister is brilliant. She's not to be played with, because trust me, she opened her mouth, she got her receipts right there. She gonna hit you and check you with the facts. So anyway, shout out to her and a woman named Rachel Bittercoffer. Pronounce it right. Rachel Bittercoffer. She is a political scientist, and she's really she's been sounding the alarm, like I was saying earlier. I mean, the distance was separating this democracy from Nazi Germany is like thin as a sheet of paper, and that people better take this serious, because we know how fascist, and we know Orange Hitler, aka Trump's fantasy, is to be a dictator like Putin, or he wants to be like one of those vicious dictators like Putin or Orban in Turkey, one of them cats. But see, Governor Too Short in Florida, people like DeSantis, Mike Pence, and Nimrod and Nikki Haley wants to be in that category, but they are even more dangerous than Orange Hitler. And here's why. Because they really understand the mechanics and the nuance, and they know how the law works. They understand this whole political system and the Constitution. They know the loopholes. They know the weak spots. See, they tried to exploit it on January 6th. But see, Trump was intellectually, he don't have it. He was never an intellectual dude. He's a phony. He wants to be a bully. He's the dude that wants to throw a rock and hide his hand and hide behind somebody. And when the fight break out, Orange Hitler, Trump was the dude when the fight breaks out. His boys is fighting, and Trump's ass done ran home and hid, looking for his daddy. He's that kind of dude. But Ron DeSantis or Governor Too Short, they are dangerous. They are way more dangerous, because they really believe in this ideology. They won't say that, but just look at Florida. You can't say gay. You can't teach black history in schools and talk about it in businesses. Study your history. That's what was happening in Germany when the whole Nazi movement started in the 20s and the 30s. That's how it started. It ain't just like from 0 to 100. You know, it's like a football field. You know, it ain't a 102-yard kickoff return. Okay, we get to the 25. Let's get another 10 yards. First down. Oh, we got a 20 yards. Then, before you know it, you're in the end zone. So shout out to Rachel Bittercoffer. I got to try to get her on the show. Take this thing serious. There are people who want to take this country back to 1723, not even 1823. Wake up. I got to get out of here. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you. I'm just trying to see, hold on, because I know some people just trying to get in the conversation. I'm just clicking a button. All right, here we go. So shout out to everybody that's watching me live. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Programming note, now, this week, today, Tuesday, is the final live show. However, the Geno Jones Show is always here for you on demand to binge watch any and all back episodes 24/7. Subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Subscribe, share, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. Copy and paste the link, share it, screen grab it, put it on Twitter, TikTok. I know I ain't really messing with Elon Musk, but put it up there just to piss him off, because he's another one. Fascist doesn't, has a certain ideology that only rich white men should be in control and women should be subservient and black people and people of color and even poor working class white folks. Okay, think about it. Go back to the founding fathers. They weren't hanging out with the folks they hired, the poor whites that were primarily from Ireland and other parts of Europe, who they had as the overseers, the ones that was doing the dirt and beating the slaves with whips, like what happened in Kunta Kinte and Roots. They were never plantation owners. They didn't have no plan on putting them on, but they just came up with this whole concept, or some people call it a construct of race, which is made up because there's no such thing as race in the human genome when it comes to your DNA. Get a DNA test. I promise it won't come back and say you 85% white. You 90% black. It'll speak of the region that you come from, your origins, your ancestors' origins, Eastern European, Italian, German, Irish, Scottish, Swedish, or from African, because Africa is a continent with many countries on the continent. Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Cameroon, Egypt. Yes, Egypt is a country on the continent of Africa. South Africa. So I could go on and on and on. So this whole thing, and it was a concept that was invented in Europe in the late 1680s, and they imported it and they brought it here. So a few people could control all the social, economic, and political power, i.e. control all the money and the power, and to pit who they deemed lesser than, even people who had the white, is really not, but white pigmentation like they had. Just look at all the wars in Europe. Let's just take a look at, right now, look at Russia invading Ukraine. They're next door neighbor. As a matter of fact, many Ukrainians and Russians like first, second cousins. And they're all white, virtually. Russia don't give a damn about people who not just look like them, but in many cases share the same biological DNA. Okay? So you see what people are capable of? You don't think something like that? You got Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about let's come up with a way for the government to separate the northern states or the blue states from the southern states or the red states. Man, y'all better pay attention and vote and get everybody you know to vote. Because trust me, there's folks that don't give a damn about this democracy and don't give a damn about your rights. And if they could put people of color back into slavery, and they want to take all the women's rights away. Hell, they don't even want women to vote. If they can figure out it, and they'll come for those rights too. I promise you. Today they might be coming for me and trying to ban all the books about, black people and our contribution to history, because black history is American history. They come for black folks next. Because they come for Asians and Hispanics. Oh yeah, I know we got some Hispanics. Y'all look white passing for white. No, they ain't crazy about you. Don't get it twisted. They're not even crazy about other white people. This whole concept of whiteness is like a club. When the Irish first came to America, they weren't considered white. When the Italians first came to America, they were not considered white. When the Germans came, they weren't necessarily considered white. When the Eastern Europeans came, they definitely were not considered white. Now, they eventually got allowed in the club by primarily, the white Anglo-Saxons, primarily from England. Just read. Or just, if you don't like to read, get an audio book. Just do your history, do your homework. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. I will see you live the first of March. It could be the first, like March 1st or March 2nd. We were scheduled to return on camera on Monday, March 6th, but I got some good news. So the studio is going to be up and running. We're going to be able to move into our new facilities earlier and have them set up. I'm really excited about that. So in the meantime, please binge watch all my back episodes. Watch 2 or 3 different episodes because I got enough. I got 2 years full of episodes, 5 days a week. So I got plenty of back episodes and some fun, great conversations I've had with Ronald Isley and Ernie Isley, the Isley brothers, Lettucey, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, some of my Southern Soul family, Roy Chip Anthony, Lenny Williams, old school fans, some of the new artists. Just go back, just to pick and binge watch any and every episode. All right, just make it a Geno Jones show, night, afternoon, evening, morning. You get bored at work, you finish your work early, get your tablet, just go to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. All right, maybe right now, maybe you could be at the gate waiting on your flight, wherever. I got you. All right, you're on the bus. You put your earbuds in, and you got a long bus ride, or you're riding the L in Chicago, or you riding the D train in New York, or the MARTA in Atlanta, or the Metro train there in DC. Got your tablet, even your smartphone. Put your buds in and pull up the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. All right, everybody. Man, I love you all so much. I hope you can tell. I hope you can feel it. Because I feel your love. I really do. All right, everybody. So enjoy the Geno Jones Show on demand. Enjoy the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel and all the back episodes and all that it has to bring. Brought to you by the Charleston Black Expo the weekend of March 10th and 11th. Taste of Black Charleston that I got a chance to MC. I've been MCing that for like the last 10 years. It is incredible. Some of the best chefs on the planet. Some of the best food, and then, of course, the Charleston Black Expo at the Charleston Area Convention Center. It's going to be on Saturday, March 11th. All right? I love you. I really do. As always, be blessed. Be very, very blessed. Be blessed and pray for peace. And speaking of the Charleston Black Expo, our sponsor for this week, and the taste of Black Charleston.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.